All right, everybody, I am back after what feels like forever, although I guess for you it's not really more than usual, but I've been so sick, just so tired of being sick. I had a cough that lasted for 2 months and just was really under the weather, and then I finally started to feel better from that, and I got a stomach virus. So it's been one of those springs. Anyway, it's a bit of a busy day. I'm really excited to get into the garden. It is beautiful out right now because it thunderstormed last night. All the plant babies spent the night outside overnight. It's finally that time of year. And I'm just going to grab these brassicas here, take them over to where they are going. So these little baby brassicas are a third succession sowing. I really wanted to get them in the ground earlier so that they could grow a little bit bigger, but I didn't have a place for them until Kim added this little veggie plot to what was our perennial garden space here. Our hedgerow plants go along this chain link fence. So we've got a bunch of hazelnuts and elderberries and choke cherries, choke berries, or aronia berries, that kind of thing, all up here. And eventually they will be coppiced and woven together into a nice hedgerow. For now, we're just keeping them sort of tight up against the fence. And so we had this area to work with. I actually had to move an elderberry from here that I didn't want so far out towards the lawn, and it made a nice little open patch. This is where we're going to plant these extra baby brassicas. Probably not all of them. This is only an 8x3 section here, and there are 12 brassicas, so we'll see how much I want to cram them in. But I also want to put some other things in between the rows. I have a tray of some kohlrabis and some beets that are ready to get put in the ground. I think I'm going to try to cram them in here as well. So that is on the list today, but I have to cover them as soon as I plant them because this is like rabbit highway. They run along here and then they live under the shed. So they would definitely mow down any seedlings I put in here instantly. So as soon as they go in the ground, the cover's going on. Before we do that, we're just going to take a little gander, look at some of the beautiful things coming up, like the peach blossoms. I like that the kids' mud kitchen is right here, so that the peach blossom branches kind of drape over it. I think it's really pretty. I don't know if the kids appreciate it as much as I do, but whatever. And on my plum, there are some buds, haven't yet popped, but they're coming. And this pear tree is new, so nothing to expect on here. Spinach needs to get picked today. Also lettuce. Also asparagus. These Amico Chinese cabbages are really coming along. They are getting big fast, and I'm going to be making kimchi with them. Probably another 2 weeks they'll be huge and ready to go. And also I forgot I had sown some beets in here next to the peas, and they're starting to come up. All right, now I'm going to show you the asparagus. Actually, should I pick it now? I kind of wanted to pick it like right when we were about to eat it, but I might pick it now. You can put asparagus in a glass of water to help it stay fresh longer. So I think that's what I will do. I'm just going to get a basket. Oh, there's my knife. Terrible at putting things away. Our asparagus is in the front yard, which I love making use of all the spaces and having food in the front where people can see it. Let people know possibilities of where you can grow food. But I'm still honestly kind of embarrassed filming myself in the front yard, especially it's like school run, so everybody's bringing their kids to school. Kim just took the kids. Maybe I can be inconspicuous. Oh look, fiddleheads that I didn't know were there. I don't remember planting an ostrich fern here. That's fun. You can see some of the asparagus spears are just a little bit deformed, like this one. That's damage from the asparagus beetle. And I believe that it's from like the previous year that they get in there and they damage part of the crown, but I'll have to look that up again. We definitely have asparagus beetles. It's a recurring asparagus pest. But yeah, a couple of them are a little funky. They're still totally edible. It's just something to watch for. Not terrible. It's first harvest of the year, and it's our first year harvesting. So with asparagus, when you plant crowns, you can harvest in the second year a little bit. But not very many will come up that are substantial enough to harvest. It's still good to just harvest a few in the second year and then save your big harvest for year 3. This is year 3 for these crowns, and so I don't think we even picked any last year. If you start your asparagus from seed and you just have tiny little plants, then it's best to wait a full 3 years and then do a tiny harvest, and then the 4th year you should have a bigger harvest. Crowns are already at least 1-year-old plants, sometimes more, and so when you plant those, you have a leg up and you can start harvesting sooner. So yeah, pretty good first harvest of the season on our asparagus. We've been here since 2021, but I didn't get the asparagus patch in until 2023. Until 2022. All right, I got a tray here with kohlrabis and some beets. So I'm going to dot a little bit of those in amongst the broccoli and cauliflowers that I have here. And I'm donning gardening gloves because I'm actually getting a little bit tired of the super rough hands that I'm getting from all the digging in dirt. I also wanted to actually test something here. I've got some of these seedlings were sowed with mycorrhizal fungi like supplement that's put into the soil, and this tray was not. And I'm just curious. I can't tell any difference in these just by looking at them right now, but I'm going to pop them out and have a look. So I have tested this before and I didn't see any results, and I thought maybe it's just a fluke. I'm going to test it again and see if there's a difference between using the mycorrhizal fungi and not. I honestly have not been able to see a difference. So this one is with the mycorrhizal fungi. This one is without. Same exact variety of brassica in the same soil mix, but one had mycorrhizal fungi added and one didn't. And I am not seeing any difference whatsoever in these ones. I'm going to go through and check them all. I don't know what to say. We'll have to just keep testing it in different ways through the season to find out if it's actually having an impact or not. I'm going to put a wall thumb right here, put another wall thumb right here. Two on there, two on there, two on there, and one there. So if I'm being realistic with myself, I'm going to put 8 in this bed. I don't really want to work them all the way up the hill because that's pretty woody up on that part of the hill. This was all wood chip that I laid. Oh, I'm just blown away by these Virginia bluebells. You see them? They're just gorgeous. It's a native spring ephemeral Virginia bluebells, native to where I am. And they only come up first thing in the spring, and then they die back in the summer, and they are just the most vibrant blue. They're stunning. All right, we're going to do a robber cauliflower. Not seeing any difference in the roots. This is the one with mycorrhizal fungi. This is the one without. No difference. Also, no difference in tops of the plants. Romanescos. Do you want to know? Okay. So with these cell packs, these are Bootstrap Farmer plastic plug tray. I did not like them after a while because I couldn't get the actual root ball out. I couldn't pull the plug out. It was just, I would have to use a knife and it would always break apart in here. The roots kind of clung to the plasticky side. And so it would stick in there and it would end up ripping roots. I think this is now an older design. I think for the most part now, little plug trays like this have a hole cut out in the bottom for you to poke your finger through. And it helps with like oxygenating the roots and stopping the roots from becoming root bound and all that. So what I'm doing here with these is just cutting a slit off the bottom. They're really hard to cut because bootstrap farmer trays are built to be very tough. But I managed to do that with a bunch of these plug trays, and now I can just poke my finger through and the seedling comes out as it should. So this is the one with mycorrhizal fungi. This is the one without. I cannot see any difference at all. This is Romanesco cauliflower. All right, and then I'm going to do a purple of Sicily, and that'll be the last I put in this bed. With the mycorrhizal fungi, without, cannot tell a difference at all. Now, full disclosure, the company who makes this concoction of mycorrhizal fungi, they approached me at a trade show, or I approached them, I don't know, we were just chatting at a trade show, and then they reached out to me afterwards and sent me a sample. Like, they sent me a big pack of it, a big container of this mycorrhizal fungi, and they offered to just give it to me to try out, and I could do a video on it if I saw good results, and they were super confident in it. And I know a lot of other people are on a mycorrhizal bandwagon. There. But the thing is, mycorrhizal fungi exists in healthy soils. And there are different kinds of mycorrhizal fungi. So like this concoction that they had mixed specifically is for garden beds where you have like annual vegetables or flowers or that kind of thing. It's not meant for forested areas. There are a different set of mycorrhizal fungi that exist naturally in forest spaces. And I know that my food forest area has tons of mycorrhizal fungi. When you lift up a layer of wood chip and just look at the soil, it's 50% white, and that's all the mycelium. And I just know that there's a very healthy fungal life in that soil. And feeding it all the wood chips helps for sure. Wood chips promote fungal life. And I'm going to try this mycorrhizal fungi some more, like in my raised garden beds, because that's imported soil. It's triple mix that I bought. Now, at this point, this triple mix that I just planted my brassicas in is new, fresh from this year, but all of my raised beds, it's 2 years old now, and I've just been amending slowly with compost and straw and dropping my weeds on it. So it's been, I've been feeding the soil that way over a couple of years and leaving the root systems of plants when I'm done with them. So I just cut them off and leave the roots in the soil. All of that is going to feed the soil life, and it's going to promote more fungal life as well. And then that's going to strengthen the roots. And if you don't know, it's actually really cool how mycorrhizal fungi work. I might butcher this because I am not a biologist, but I have read a lot about this. Mycorrhizal fungi interact with the roots of plants. They make nutrients and water more readily available for the plants. So they attach themselves to the roots, and they have this symbiotic relationship. They're just so cool. Fungi are so cool. And bacteria. Bacteria is pretty underrated in the garden, I think. It's very important. But people, humans, may have a bit of a thing with the word bacteria. We automatically think it's bad. Obviously, we know it's not because it's necessary for life. Anyway, all these brassicas are planted now. The only ones I have left are branching varieties. I've got a Fioretto cauliflower and a Yodfa broccoli, and I have no idea yet where to put those. But next I'm going to plug in some beets and maybe some other things in around all of these broccolis and cauliflowers. Now you can multi-sow beets. I encourage you to look up Charles Dowding on YouTube if you haven't yet. He's a big proponent of A, no-dig gardening, and B, multi-sowing things. This is a multi-sown beet plug here, so I put 2 beet seeds into a plug. You can see there's 3 beet seedlings, and that's because a beet seed is actually a conglomerate of seeds. There's multiple seeds in one of those little balls that looks like a seed, and so even though I put 2 seeds in here, there are 3 beet seedlings, and that's fine. They can grow happily together. I just want to put them sort of in a diamond pattern, so broccoli, cauliflower, and beets, 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 just because, you know, it's going to get a little too crowded if I have a full row of beets down the middle. I think it all depends on how quickly everything grows here. The conditions might just be perfect, but We'll see. I don't want to push my luck. And then I think I'm going to put kohlrabies along the back. Maybe the back and the front. This is a new product for me. They're like tent poles. My mom got something like this for her pea patch this year to keep the rodents out. I'm curious to try them. Not sure how big to make them. Maybe one more. When I make row cover hoops, usually it's a conduit, like PVC piping from the hardware store. But they're really big and bulky, which is fine. I just wanted to try something a little bit more streamlined. These may not function as well to hold up a thick sheet of greenhouse plastic for winter growing. Typically you need a cross brace along the top to hold up snow on a plastic row cover. But we can experiment with that this fall if I want. I hate using this stuff. It's made of plastic. So much is made of plastic. Like a petroleum product. And I cannot find plant-based insect netting in North America. There's a company in the UK that makes it, but I've been back and forth with them and they just aren't able to sell it in North America yet. All right, I'm only putting little holes in the corners here and then I'll weight the rest down. I don't know if this is like the best way to put a row cover on, but I always tie the ends in a knot and then it makes like a little hook to put a rock on to keep it more taut. All right, there it is. Nothing much. Oh, I did pull it a little bit too tight here. I'll just have to pull down the front, but looking good. We got 8 broccoli and cauliflower varieties in here. We have a couple clusters of multi-sown beets. 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 of those. And then 10 kohlrabies. So we've got a mix of the purple and the green varieties. I love that if you just peek over the other side, you can see the Virginia bluebells. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel so far. I just surpassed 1,000 subscribers, which is so exciting. We're on the road to monetization. I would love to be able to get some financial support to keep making these videos as my other business, my research and evaluation consulting business, starts to get a little bit busier. It's going to be harder for me to prioritize this, but I am going to because I'm out in the garden anyway, and I want to be able to share all the stuff I'm doing with all of you. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing. If you watched this video and you liked the vibe we have here, please consider subscribing or giving this video a thumbs up. That'll help me out. I'm really loving being here, making these long form videos on YouTube. It's been really fun, really rewarding so far. So thank you, and I hope that you'll come and grow with us.